Hey, welcome to a special presentation of the Pack a Day podcast collaboration with the Draft Fellows. I'm Andrew Murdig. That is Kyle Fellows. Over the next few months, we'll be doing a series that covers picks 1 through 32 of the upcoming NFL draft, that team's biggest need, and who they should be considering at that pick, and then predicting who we likely think they are going to take with that selection. So you can check out all the video of the 32 episodes on the Draft Fellows channel on YouTube. You can also check out all of our previous episodes on the Pack a Day channel. And we have some other content surrounding roster building and NFL draft. But Kyle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Really excited to continue this On the Clock series with you, as we've explained in the first episode. If you missed that, go back, check it out. We talked through the Tennessee Titans, but these are going to be quick hitter episodes, 5-10 minutes max, just to give you the best info we can about these NFL teams as we work all the way through the draft order in the lead up to the draft. But today we get to continue with a conversation about the team picking number 2 overall, and that is the Cleveland Browns. And with these teams that are picking at the top of the draft order, there is always a good amount of needs that this team needs to address to get things going in the right direction. And that is true here. We could talk about quarterback, running back, offensive tackle, corner, even. I don't know if there's a team in the NFL with a more obvious need than what the Browns have at quarterback. And what's interesting, it's not just the lack of talent there, right? But it's this PR standpoint of trying to get something right that they didn't get right a few years ago with Deshaun Watson. So lots of pressure here at the top of the board to at least consider the quarterback position. I mentioned running back Jerome Ford is in the last year of his deal. I've always been a big fan of him as kind of that role player in an offense. Nick Chubb, though, will be 30 years old in the 2025 season if they bring him back. He's a free agent this offseason. At offensive tackle, Jack Conklin is at least a steady option for them, has a couple of years left on his deal, but Jedrick Wills' rookie contract has expired. He's a free agent. DeJuan Jones will be entering his third year, and that isn't going incredibly well. And Germain Ifedi he's not a great option either. So offensive tackle definitely on the top of this list of things that they would like to upgrade. They could go corner, I mentioned, but Denzel Ward had a pretty good 2024, and they just picked up the 5th year on Greg Newsome, hoping that he bounces back. So lots of different ways that Cleveland could go, not just at 2 here, but throughout the draft. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do and what options they pursue here, especially at the top.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit with the Titans, but typically teams that are in the top 2, when there's 2 seemingly top-notch quarterbacks, like seems to be the analysis in this class with Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, they usually stick and pick. And that may not be the case this year. We don't know how these teams actually feel because these aren't generational prospects. They're good quarterback prospects. Seeing what the fit is, how each individual team feels, I think could lead us to a variety of possibilities and what the Cleveland Browns could do at number 2. I do think if you're looking to trade down, there's several options. You could move down one spot to the New York Giants at pick 3, who are maybe just playing some defense like the 49ers did with the Bears years ago to just prevent somebody from leapfrogging them. You could see them go down to 6 with the Las Vegas Raiders, 7 with the New York Jets. How about this for a weird one? How about pick 21 with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Now, I don't think the Browns really want to help out the Steelers get their next franchise quarterback. But maybe this is like the Steelers saying, hey, we've been struggling long enough since Ben Roethlisberger retired. Let's go all the way up, be super aggressive. Maybe unlikely, but just another team on the list that I thought was at least interesting. I think if the Browns are going to stay there and pick, you, of course, have the 2 quarterbacks, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. Whatever order you happen to have those 2 players in is a personal preference. Which flavor of ice cream do you like the most? But I think edge rusher Abdul Carter is a name to watch. He could go 1, he could go 2, he could go 3, but I doubt he falls much further than that. And then, of course, offensive and defensive player Travis Hunter, who is just like a super intriguing prospect because he has a skill set we just have not seen in our lifetime.
Yeah,
and so now I'm supposed to ask, look at me screwing up here. It's only episode 2. What do you predict that the Cleveland Browns are going to do at pick 2?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do here. It's early in the process, But I kind of think that you talked about this. I think this is the Cam Ward spot. I just think that there's going to be too much pressure to get the quarterback position right for them to wait on it. I don't necessarily know if it's the wise way to go, but I do think that Cam Ward has all the traits to get them to that decision throughout the process. He's got the ability to create when things break down. And I think with development, he can kind of become a Jordan Love like quarterback in the NFL. I'm not trying to make that complete comp, but there are some similarities to their game and the way that they navigate the pocket and the way that they, deliver the ball with accuracy. I think that that's going to be something that he can become. And I think that that is going to be intriguing to a team like Cleveland. And I can see them taking the cheese and saying, we think this guy can become that kind of a player.
Yeah, and with Kevin Stefanski, I could definitely see them saying, let's take the guy with the upside. We can teach him how to maybe rein it in a little bit with an
Mhm.
elite arm like that. I'm going to go in a little bit different direction predictably, and that is Abdul Carter. And I think this is a team that is finally starting to realize they need to rebuild. And I'm hopeful that they realize they have a really good coach in Kevin Stefanski and don't try to put him on the hot seat if they are trying to rebuild. But I do think if you end up trading Myles Garrett, and try to replace him with a younger edge in Abdul Carter. And then you collect some future assets rather than, just forcing a quarterback here. I do think that that could end up being a really good move for the Browns as well if they're not infatuated with either quarterback.
Yeah, and this Browns team is maybe one of the more fascinating ones at the top of the board because at 2, you know that they're going to be in play for a quarterback. If you assume that there's 2, right? Like they're going to have a chance to draft one of them. The question is the one that they like on the board at 2? Or did they just bypass the whole conversation and say, "Hey, we're going to, invest like you said in an edge rusher or another position that could help this team right away." So, a lot of intrigue, a lot of drama around the Cleveland Browns, and we are just a couple months away from finding out what Cleveland will do when they are on the clock. So thanks for joining us for this mini show. Make sure you like and subscribe to the show and stick with us as we preview all 32 teams in this series leading up to the 2025 NFL Draft. From the draft room to the gridiron, the Draft Fellows have got you covered. Until next time, stay tuned and stay in the game.